Hey guys. Woo. How's everybody doing tonight? Just so y'all can see, I'm not pasty and pale. It's just my lighting. Just my lighting, guys. And I'm going to fix that soon, so don't worry. Hey D-Wash. Hey Derek, Ehard, Wanda, Tammy, Gabrielle, Latoya. I can't see everybody. Hey Tamara. So, I wanted to go live tonight because I got a comment on my channel. And I'm hearing that this is, hey Betty, I'm hearing that this is apparently what's been going on. And I'm going to read this comment. Now, we have people that bounce around in the Kenneka Jenkins case, newbies and people that have been on the case from the beginning. I don't know. I don't know if this person's a new person. I don't know. But hey, Sean. I'm going to read this regardless. I found it interesting, if nothing else. It says, I wanted to know if anyone heard Zach TV death is connected to Kenneka's death. He posted people calling and threatening him to stop going in on that case. After he passed, I heard there was a break-in at his house and the laptop was stolen. I know videos were posted of him saying, quote, I have been typing all my notes in my laptop, end quote. No one thinks all the stuff, interviews, writing, and the other stuff he did to solve this case may have contributed to his death. Also, a guy I believe is T Streets was killed after he went to the police station for interview regarding Zach's case. I have heard Kenneka's death is way more sinister and plotting than anyone knows. The friends, plural, of Kenneka were not that savvy to do what was done to Kenneka. I am not saying the plot didn't involve any other men and women in that room. Her friends and Irene, I believe, are innocent. They need to look at any of the other people at that party. King Rob, security guard, and front desk clerk, and being Masonics. Just like the drugs she had in her system that no one who knew she didn't take. I just believe the cops didn't give a shit and decided to let her mother, hotel staff, other cops just walk around, touch stuff, no evidence collected, and more in the crime scene. I just think by security that was noticed, lurking around and camera footage wrong and skipped around footage, lack of concern from hotel staff when she went missing. Think about this. Yes, she is drunk, but her mother worked in food service. The conversation never came up about freezers having a glow-in-the-dark button to release the lock. It's maybe me, but I find hard to believe that wasn't spoken about. Why, if hotel had missing girl, security or front desk didn't check camera right away? Hey, Outrageous 5. How do they know a hotel didn't have a rapist or a killer staying there? I once had my medicine in my suitcase. We went to dinner, and when we came back, guess what medicine was missing? I went to front desk, highly upset. They called the manager. He came from home to review cameras. And by that time, cops were there. I called them. They reviewed the tapes with police by this time. It had been like 2.5 hours from the time I reported it. Did they access cameras? If that would have been done, I suspect Kenneka would be here today. Also, why was the coroner walking the halls of the hotel before Kenneka was even reported missing? He is on tape walking the halls of the hotel. There was nobody dead. This is not normal to have a death investigator on scene walking around the hotel hours before Kenneka was even reported missing. He just knew there was a dead body before a person was reported missing. I can't be okay with that. A lot of stuff is not making sense until you start to put pieces together. I would also like for young people to practice the buddy system. No one goes anywhere alone. I hope and pray Kenneka and her family deserve justice and to find out the truth of what happened that night. So, That was pretty deep. Um, a lot was covered in that. I had to go back to the beginning of it. Now, she started out talking about Zach TV's death. She wanted to know if anyone heard Zach TV's death is connected to Kenneka's death. So I'm curious, is that something that's going on now? That people are connecting the two together? I'm just curious. Oh, that's my auntie. Hi, auntie. I'm just curious if people are hearing, if that's something that's going on in the community. Hey, Phyllis Wilson, welcome. Is that, hey, Shunda, is that what's being discussed in these? I don't go to Facebook. Don't do it. Too too grown for it. Is that what's being discussed on these in these forums, or where in the hell is this coming from? I'm just curious. Thank you, Gabrielle. And I'm curious, is it just that? Hey, Deanna Hill, I'm glad you could come. I'm like, where is the connection? I'm thrilled. I don't know. Is it just that he was, hey, Latoya, crafting Nook? Is it just that because he was investigating her death? Is that what the connection is? Where did this connection? Okay, thanks, Sean. Yep, one YouTuber says Zach is the one who slit Kanika's throat. That's where it's coming from, I believe. Interesting. I was just really curious because it kind of shocked me. I sent it to, hey, Kim Richards. I sent it to someone, and they said, yes, that's what was going on, and that a lot of the newbies are. Well, thank you, Gabrielle. Now I know where that BS comes from. Okay. Um, I think we know about the laptop. T Streets was killed, yes. Do we think the friends of Kenneka were savvy enough to have done this? What is your opinion on that? I think I know the general opinion on it, but I'm curious. Mm-mm-mm. Wow, Gabrielle. Wow. I honestly believe new people are coming along in the JFK community watching videos of it. Yes, I believe that's a big problem we have here. The the biggest problem that I see is there's a lot of problems, so it would be hard to narrow it down, but it's like this community is so stinking full of drama. And I mean, it used to be full of drama, but it's like getting 20 times worse now. And I feel like, this is just my personal opinion, I feel like a lot of this is coming from these channels that I don't know if it's the views. I don't know. Thank you, Aunt Beezy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if it's they're awful new to um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss with it because it seems like anytime we take a step forward, we take 50 back. And I don't understand. I think it's the newbies too. I just don't understand all of the foolery behind it. It's so strange to me. And a lot of people will listen to these things that are being said on these channels and not even check it out. Like, you hear something and then you run with it, and I don't understand that. um, don't you want to at least check it out before you run with it? um, I'm like that anyway, because if somebody says, oh, I saw something on her channel, you better believe that I got some information to back it up. I'm just saying, I'm not going to put something out there that I can't show you where I got it from. So that to me is strange. I mean, I remember Zach and the phone calls, and um, just my personal opinion, it seemed very staged. That was my personal opinion. I don't force that down anybody's throat. The whole call on the highway and the woman saying what she said, I thought it sounded phony as hell. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, it is. The waters are definitely muddy. Um, I just It bothers me because, at the end of the day, there's still a deceased 19-year-old that came from that hotel. Um, and the theories are just so wild. Like, I mean, we could start with something very, very simple, um, that it was a complete accident. And then it gets taken to some crazy levels. And I've just never personally seen a case like this. Oh, thank you. Together We Break Chains production. Thank you. Um, and then you have another problem on top of it, which doesn't really help. Yeah, this is a real case. Um, you have a family that, you know, I've always said this. I would have done things a lot different if that had been my daughter, but I don't walk in the shoes of Miss Teresa. So I don't live in Chicago. I don't have to go out my door every day and see these people. And the climate is so much different from Chicago to Kentucky. So it's easy for me to sit here and judge her. I don't do that though. Um, I've gotten irritated with her over the years about certain things that she's done. But as I've matured, and as I've matured with this case, I realized that she had to do what she had to do, or what she felt like she needed to do. And that's not for me to judge. But at the same time, the attorney part makes it difficult because she can't speak like she wants to about the case because her attorneys are telling her, don't do that. Any good attorney worth their salt would tell the client, don't talk, stay off of social media. And she gives little tidbits, kind of speaking in code, and then people run with it because that's what they do. But she can't speak up and say, this is what happened, this is what I did, this is why I said what I said, this is why I did what I did. Number one, she didn't have to do that. Number two, um, it would just make things a little bit less muddy if she were able to speak up. Then you got the people that want the damn views and the subscribers and all of that. And it's unfortunate because We still have a deceased young lady. And to me, it's just, it's tacky. Um, it's wrong on 400 different kind of levels. Yes, Philip, lots of theories. Um, and, some of them are worth their weight, Some people can back it up with stuff that they found or things that they researched or but then there are people that throw these wild ass scenarios out there, excuse my language, and they just, man, they stick for whatever reason. They stick because people love the drama. People love that. People don't want to hear nothing but really. They want to hear all of the foolery, and it's sad. It's really sad. Yeah, this other chick right here, this the one that Sean Braggs is mentioning in the chat. Woo, I've heard a lot of craziness coming out of that channel. I've never heard half of the stuff she's talking about, but I will say this much. If I lived in Chicago, um, I would be a lot more cautious about some of the things that has been said. It's just kind of scary. Very scary. Now, let me see what else she says here. Okay, so do we think the friends are savvy enough to have done any of this? Hey, Rita Ray. Then it goes on to say, I'm not saying the plot didn't involve any other men and women in that room. I think that, I've always said this, I think that the friends are very savvy. They're very street smart, a lot smarter than they write. Hey, bitchy boy. And and that's another good theory, that this was an accidental death and a cover up. That's another theory, plausible theory. And what do we think about that? Do we think that's possible? Has anyone ever really stopped and thought, hey, you know what? It's not about the friends. Um, Something happened and they tried to cover this death up as best they could. I mean, that's not a far-fetched theory. Now, some of these other theories, on the other hand, hey, Jackie's concerned. Some of these other theories, on the other hand, are a little bit strange, and it makes you think. Like, it makes me think. I don't know about everybody else. I can't speak for everybody else, but when I hear something that's just absolutely off the wall, I have to look at that and say, really? Where is that coming from? So I asked the subscribers to these channels that come up with these outlandish ass ideas, is it you just don't want to believe anything that sounds like it's reasonable? Or I still get this a lot, and it blows my ever loving mind that someone would actually think, and this really blows my mind. I'm not kidding. That someone would actually think that a pastor would stand up at a funeral and talk about someone sacrificing their baby. And I say to those people, you must not have been brought up in the church, any church. If you don't know about Job, You must not have been brought up in the church, because that's what he was speaking on. And mm, yeah, bless Dee Walsh's heart. She's one handed tonight. She's down one hand. That's another part that I have the problem with, Shunda. When you look at Kenneka when she came in the door of the Crown Plaza on this footage, and you look at the pictures of her in the freezer, something happened. Something happened. Can you tell me that it didn't? That's just how I feel. If you can convince me otherwise, cool. Go ahead and try it. But I have two eyes, thank God, and I got plenty of sense. And look at her coming in the hotel and the way she was found in that freezer, it's a problem. It is a problem. I'm just being honest. It's a problem. But I will say this, that um, yes, she is so disheveled in the freezer. Absolutely, Gabrielle. Dang, Kimberly Terrell, that's crazy. Kimberly Terrell says at a church conference 3 years ago, a 17-year-old drowned in a hotel pool after hours. It was blamed on the director of a youth group, but come to find out, she took the hotel key from the adult church leader. Now, I watched a video. I don't know. Maybe several people have seen the video. I don't know. But of the two kids going around the Crown Plaza, kids, and I'm talking kids. And there is a wheelchair elevator, and they were messing around on it. And one of the employees came over there and told them to get off. And now this is in the Crown Plaza at Rosemont. Very tech savvy kids. They were actually doing it for their own YouTube channel. And these kids couldn't have been more than 10, 11 years old. And the odd part about that video for me was they had a key to the elevator, because the guy that stopped them from getting on this elevator, I mean, the elevator went from like, I think the first floor to the second floor, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the two little kids. Yes, D. Walsh. But the person that stopped him, he was like, "Hey, wait, you took the key." And the kid was like, "No, this is mine." And he did have that key before he even went to the elevator. So what does that tell you? So don't get it twisted. Like, stranger things have happened. I'm just saying. Like, these kids were, hi Ava. Yes, pose your question. Um, these kids had this elevator key, and it was an odd shaped key. I don't know where they got it. And apparently they do this in every hotel they stay in. They make these little videos. Thank you, Ava. I definitely say that Monifa is guilty of being a bad friend. Yes, he did, D. Walsh. She said that he rides what really, I turned the video on and I was like, oh, it's just some kids playing around. But what caught my attention is that these kids were in this elevator opening up the boxes and wanting to stick keys and stuff in there. And I was like, what are these two little kids doing in this elevator, and where is their mama? And these weren't your average 10 and 11-year-old kids. That's the age I guess them to be. They were very, very tech savvy. Were actually took the camera, filmed themselves going to the pool area. Thank you, Gabrielle. I wouldn't even go and do that. Um, Filmed themselves going to the pool area and was going to test their waterproof camera by throwing it in the pool. So, I mean, that number one tells you, yes, there is a pool at the Crown Plaza at Rosemont. And number two, these kids had an elevator key to the wheelchair elevator. So, what else do they have? In the first elevator they got in, the box was open, but there was something. Um, yes, they were looking for something to put something else in. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't there or something. And then they got in the second elevator and they the box was locked. So they couldn't do whatever it was they were trying to do that they wanted to do. And I thought it was just interesting as hell, really. No, none of them were good friends. Right, and that's crazy. There was obviously a pool, and these kids even showed it on their video. Like, it's just bananas. Just bananas. But I just found that video to be interesting. And while I was going around and looking, I was actually looking for something totally different. I think everybody knows that I've been looking for one person, and I still continue to look for that one person, and I'm not going to stop. Um, I found another image of him in a stock photo of the Crown Plaza um, banquet area. He's in the background. Now, this is the same man that found Kenneka. And I'm going to say this again for the record. Lenny Posias did not find Kenneka in the freezer. That is not Lenny on the footage. We don't know who that is, unfortunately. Thanks, Mika versus Roman. Um, I don't know, Ava. It just can't happen. It just cannot happen. Her question is, why can't all of the commentators come together as one? I just don't understand. Ego, that would be my first. And personality conflicts is another big one. Um, there's a lot of personality types there that you're trying to throw into it, and it just ain't gonna work. I gave up hope on that a good while ago. I wish we could. I'm game. I'm game. I'm trying to remember. D. Walsh, do you know if they had a pass key to get in that elevator? I mean, in the pool area? I can't remember. We don't know if that's Lenny's brother for sure that found her. We don't know who he is. We do not have a name for the man that found Kenneka in the freezer in the white shirt with the key and all that good stuff. But I can show you the other image that I found of him, and but I spotted him immediately in there. But still, I have searched far and wide for this man. I was going to even pay this locator thing to try to find him, and that's when I actually stumbled on the footage of David Friedman was in looking for this man. All right, let me email this to myself so that you guys can see him. But it's clearly him. I just wish we knew who he was. if you're talking about the man that's found her, it has never been put out. All right, let me go dig this picture up. I would love to know who he is. I hate to say it, but I probably would pay to know who he was. It bothers me that bad. Now, this is just a stock image, and I have him circled back there so you guys can see him. Let me share my screen. All right. Okay, I have him circled back there. I can make it bigger if I need to. Nope, that's as big as it's gonna get. But it's not a great picture. It's just him kind of at a blur, but it's him. And um, no, I was actually on Kate 420's. That's where I started at, was with Kate 420, and she didn't know who he was either. Oh, I guarantee you Teresa's attorneys have his name because they have access to that information. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hey, Linda Jackson. Yeah, that's what I would eventually like to get. Don't know if it'll ever happen, but I would like to get my hands on that file and am going to try to get my hands on that file. Like court file, not Rosemont's file, court file. That Lenny Posias, yeah, Lenny Posias was a manager, is the food and beverage manager at the Crown Plaza. His wife did die, but this guy is not Lenny Posias, unfortunately. Ooh, I don't know about that, Rita Ray. I don't know about that. I had to part ways when it got too far out there. To be real honest with you, I had to part ways, but I parted ways on good terms. So, if anybody knows who that is, I'd love to know. I would absolutely love to know. That's the sad part in this case. The person that found Kenneka, we don't know his name after 4 years. Sadly. And that's the only I've looked up so many photos of that banquet area, and that's the only one I can find that yeah, I've tried that. No, Mika versus Roman. The man that actually walked to the freezer to find Kenneka in the freezer is not Lenny Posias. But he does show up because I'm sure they called him in. And what was even more strange was when they interviewed him in the parking lot. Ava, send me an email, hnharris76@gmail.com. Now, they did call Lenny in, and Lenny is on the footage shortly after um, Kenneka was found. He's in a blue shirt with a ball cap, but that's not Lenny. Not Lenny at all. Oh, thank you, Mika versus Roman. Appreciate that. Yeah, so if anybody happens to stumble upon this guy, please let me know. Oh my goodness, Ava. Yeah, and you know what's funny about that LinkedIn? They've pretty much got everything locked down on LinkedIn. And thanks, Steve Walsh. Um, bye, Rita Ray. They've got it locked down so tight on LinkedIn. Yeah, I tried that, Derek. Tried it. I've been on food and beverage conventions, conferences. I've tried to look up. There's a there's a website that will let you pay to try to get employees' names. Blah blah blah. Tried that. Nope, doesn't work. Hey, we in Gossip New. I think with this notification thing, I was talking about this to D Walsh. Um, my condolences, Ava, on that. I'm so sorry to hear about that. I noticed it the other day, and I guess I just don't pay attention like that. But when you subscribe to somebody, hey, Khalees, um, there's apparently this something that goes out to the side and it says all. And I wasn't hitting that on channels that I'm subscribed to. So I was like, why am I not getting these notifications for these channels? That was why. I had to go back and look through all. I was like, oh man, come on. I had to go through all my channels that I subscribe to and hit all. And now my phone just blows up. So I don't know. I didn't even realize you could do that. That's terrible. I just hit subscribe and go on. And I didn't realize that that was an option. So yeah, and then I tried that too. Sometimes I thought that was my first problem was there was that glitch where people were having to unsubscribe and resubscribe, and I tried that too. But since I did this, and since I oh, thank you, Ava. I really, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Um, the channels that I recently did that to, I've been getting all my notifications. So I'm like, dang, I got to go all the way back through all my channels. Sheesh, wouldn't do that. All right, so back to this little comment because I want to hit on some of these things that she's talking about here. I mean, I was just blown away by this. She says they need to look at the other people at the party: King Rob, security guard, and front desk clerk, and be Masonics. I said it the other day. I'm not going to get back into that, the Masons, but the security guard did do some funny business. Like, but then if you think about it like this, and you look at the footage, and you think, if the footage is tampered with, and I personally believe that, and I do believe that's important. That's just my opinion. I do believe it's important. Um, hmm Hey, Linda Jackson. Um, regardless, you got to look at it like, if the footage is tampered with, then what's reliable on the footage? And that makes it tough. It kind of gets you in a catch 22. Like, if you say, well, the footage shows, and you're like, well, the footage is tampered with. So what is the footage really showing us? Um, it makes it hard to. I'll have to look him up. That's the first time I've ever heard his name. I don't believe he still works there, but the food and beverage manager currently at the Ground Plaza is Lenny Posias, and he was the food and beverage manager at that time as well. But This guy is the assistant food and beverage manager, and that's that was his title. I always thought his interview in the parking lot was very strange because he didn't really know what the hell he was talking about, and that really stood out to me. So that's one of the reasons why I want to know who the hell he is. But um, regardless, if I think that the footage is tampered with, what part of the footage can I really rely on? I guess is the question. No, that's not him. I wish it was. Not him. I was like, dang, we got a name? No. I'm glad you tried though. I've seen that guy. I just didn't know his name. Um, I still blame it all on the shapeshifters, which you said. Hey, Mama J. Hey, Chiquita Chapman. This thing rolls so fast. I want to make sure I say this right. The I believe when I say that the footage is tampered with, this is what I mean. I believe that there are things that have been scrubbed out of the footage. I don't believe that there are. When we talk about Selena Gomez, do I even have to? Do I have to? Ugh. um, I believe there are certain things that have been scrubbed out of the footage. I don't believe that there are people coming out of the walls. It did make me giggle outrageous five. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Um, right, Shamika B. It's bananas. Um, and there are certain things that when I look at them on my phone, which is not a new phone, I don't have a new phone. I don't have it like that. But I do have a new Chromebook. Best I can do right now, guys. But um, regardless, I see things differently on my end. But when say D Walsh looks at it on her high tech phone that I'm secretly hating on and hope that she gets a new one and sends me her old one. No, it's different. It's really different, and it has really blown my mind. And I think Jackie's Concern even said that. Butchie boy, I think anything's possible. Anything's possible. It's been just bananas, really. Um, I think that not a lot of people really focus on Brewbury, and everybody just instantly targeted Monifa. And not a lot of people really looked at Brewbury. And, she did leave. She was seen walking around the hotel. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot more than meets the eye. You know, I mean, did she go smoke with the guys? Probably. I don't know, but She's always worth looking at. Any of them are. Yeah, she was making moves the whole night. The whole night. She was getting it in. You hear me? Hey, Iris Rose. Yeah, I can't do the Selena Gomez. I just can't. I've done video after video on that one, and the time frame just doesn't add up. And there's no, you can't even get past that. Once you know the time frame, you can't get past it. That should kill it right there. But guilty of what? What is Monifa guilty of, in everybody's opinion? Like, what is she really guilty of? What do we have proof of Monifa being guilty of, other than being a bad friend? And I'm talking proof. I'm not talking about I heard. No, I mean proof. See what I mean? Like, there's a lot of times where, and that's another thing with this case, is the emotions get tied in as well. You know, you want to be pissed off at Monifa because she was the last person with Kenneka. Like, what the hell you leave her out there for like that? So that already gets you going on her, period. Um, that's that guilty friend bullshit. She's not a good friend. But what is she guilty of past that? And that's where it becomes a problem. That's where the opinions and the emotions start coming in. And right, just a careless friend. We don't have anything else on Monifa. Um, bad friend, most definitely. But that emotion, you want to get mad at her because she should have been a better friend to Kenneka. You should have been looking out for your girl. You weren't. And she was drunk herself. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just facts. So guilty friend, absolutely. I'll pin her as that. I wouldn't doubt that, Doria Mitchell. It's just a lot of, you know, anytime you have a teenager to die in a business, somebody asked me, was the Crown Plaza shut down because of this? Really? Do you know how many people die in hotels every day? Have you ever known a hotel to shut down, period, over the death of a patron? No, it doesn't happen. It might occasionally happen. I think that happened one time in Florida, actually, but they were already in the process of shutting down. But this is a business at the end of the day. This hotel is a business. They have a business to run. But um, the emotions of this case, you have a child, more or less a child, 19-year-old teenager, die in a hotel. That already gets your emotions going. And and then when you hear the narrative that they want you to hear, that she walked into a freezer and died, for a lot of people, me included, it just didn't sit right. Not from jump, it didn't sit right. So, um, you know, that's part of what starts this roller coaster of craziness from jump. But I can tell you this: if I lived in Chicago and I had a YouTube channel, I would not blatantly put out bullshit knowing it's bullshit and and be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like where the crazy theories are coming from. And these people have followings. People go to that channel because it's drama. They love it. They love all these crazy bullshit theories, and they want to flock over there because that's where they're hearing them. I don't know. Um, I'm not about that. Not going to be about it. It's not going to happen. I am too busy, for starters, to even remotely try to get into that bullshit. And I'm not going to do it. And I'm sorry for the cussing guys. I try not to do that. But um, oh, Lord. This is T, by the way. It's just, it comes to a point where enough is enough. And it really, you know, if you're new to a case, that's the same way I am. I cover a lot of cases. And before I jump into something and start spouting out a bunch of random craziness, um, number one, I do research. Number two, no matter what community I'm in, I'm going to be respectful about it. Um, for example, the cash situation in Texas. There's a whole community that still is on that. So I don't cover it all the time, but when I did cover it, I was respectful to the community. I was a newbie. The case was new, and everybody's trying to learn about this, that, and the third, and you have to be respectful. And I feel like the J4K community is so effing disrespectful, man. I mean, just disrespectful. They disrespect her name constantly, tell lies on her constantly, and they have a following. And that's why I'm like, how the hell can you have a following when you're doing nothing but putting out bullshit? I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's like the conspiracy theories have taken over the case. They have taken over above the facts. That's why it's so crazy to me. People want to, they flock to it. So sorry, guys. They flock to that. It's what draws people in. All the bullshit. It just, it's too much. But when you hear some of these crazy theories in the Kenneka Jenkins case, check it out before you post it in these groups. Because what happens is you look like a fool. For real, you look like a fool when you post stuff that's not true because you heard it from this channel and you know it's so far fetched. It's like this. My grandparents used to tell me all the time when I went out the door, when you go out that door, you're a reflection of me and your grandfather. Don't get out there and act stupid. Period. So it's kind of the same principle. When you have subscribers like this person, this Nia person, I've never watched a full video of anything because I couldn't get through it. It was just too much effery. And her subscribers are running and posting that into these forums on Facebook and TikTok and God knows what else they're posting it on. And people are believing that. And when you ask them where they got it from, it's laughable. It's laughable. It's sad. It's really sad that people have come to this believing conspiracy theories over facts. No, I guarantee I'm not Gabrielle. Guarantee I'm not. I couldn't even get through a single video of that channel. I couldn't. I saw her maybe once or twice speaking about the case, and I was like, what in the world is she talking about? And I maybe listened for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I can't do it. Can't do it. I just, it's bananas to me. But I'm hoping that eventually the newbies will get to a place where they see that these theories are only going to spin their wheels. There's only so long that you can talk about one of these conspiracy theories until you run into a brick wall and there's nothing there. You're just going to be pounding your head into it over and over and over. Um, but when you do your research and you do it right, based on the facts of the case, um, you might get somewhere. You might get somewhere. But when you go down these rabbit holes and you tell people things that aren't true and that you know to not be true, based on previous research in the community, and you keep beating these crazy theories into your people right and left, that's not a good look. That's where I say it's really disrespectful. It's about respect. And everybody has a right to their opinion. I'm not saying that, but and I can always agree to disagree with anyone. I don't have to entertain that. My time is valuable, just like everyone else's time is valuable. And if you are over there wasting your time with that kind of foolery, that tells me, number one, what you're looking for in this case. I'm just sorry that it tells me you're looking for the drama. You're not looking for the facts. You're looking for the drama. You're looking at stuff that's already been proven to not be the truth. Um, I'm sorry that's just how I feel. So a lot of times I'll say, or I'll know where a person come from because of the question they ask, because I know what channel they're watching that talks about that. So it's pretty easy to figure out. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's so confusing to the new people that come on the case. And honestly, if we could all put our heads together, like Ava said earlier, it would be a lovely thing. Absolutely lovely. But because of the personality types, uh, some people don't play in the sandbox very good together. Um, Egos. There are some people that think they know everything about the case. There are some people that um, just cheerlead for the drama. And you try to throw all those people in a pot to work on the same subject, it would be very, very hard. And really it'd be kind of impossible. I'm down with it. I'm down with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm down with it, but you would have a hard time getting other people to fall in line with that because number one, everybody would it'd be too many cooks in the kitchen. No chef. That's just real talk. Um, I don't claim to know, Lisa. I don't claim to know everything about this case. And people often ask me, "What's my opinion on the case?" This is what I know for a fact. I know Kenneka arrived at a party at the Crown Plaza, Chicago O'Hare in Rosemont, Illinois. She arrived with her friends and she never left. And that's what I know for a fact. Past that, My theories might change on the hour, depending on what I'm looking at, really, honestly. Um, but do I think that she, on her own accord, walked into that freezer and died from hypothermia? No. No, I don't. I don't. Period. I just don't believe that. So um, I'm open to hear anything about the case and I'll listen to anything. But these these people coming out the walls, in the carpet, bricks behind the walls, I can't get down with that. I just can't. Can't. I don't know. Um, but I don't believe that she walked into that big metal box and froze to death. I don't buy it. Not buying it. But I've said this 100 times, and I don't know if people really and truly process this. But if you really think about this, if Miss Teresa has a case going, which she does, and I did show, and we'll be glad to show again for those that are non believers. If she has a case going based on hotel liability, and that's the route she's choosing to take, because that is the route that the case is wrote up. It is wrote up just like a hotel liability case. So it's not wrote up as a criminal case, period. It's wrote up as if the hotel is liable for Kenneka's death. So if that's the way this case is going to proceed, and this case is going to go to trial if they can't get an agreement together soon. Well, they've got like 2 years to get an agreement together. But if the case were to go to trial, or when the case gets settled, um, that's going to be on hotel liability. So what they're saying is, we agree that Kenneka's death is our fault based on multiple things that we did wrong during the course of the night. It would then be hard. Okay, let's say Miss Teresa gets a settlement. It would then be hard for someone to say, for Miss Teresa, let's just say for Miss Teresa to say, my daughter was killed at the Crown Plaza. I don't know who did it, but I want this case investigated by the FBI, the federales, whoever. They would probably say, well, Miss Teresa, didn't you just win a lawsuit saying that the hotel was liable for your daughter's death? How are you now saying that someone else is liable for it? Do you see where I'm going with this? It would be very hard to do that. I'm just saying. I don't know that that would ever be possible. And that's really something for people to think about, because what that's saying is, yes, the hotel's liable. How can anyone else be liable for Kenneka's death if the hotel is admitting fault and liability? And that would be very hard to come back from and say, well, no, now I think someone at the party did it. What I think, in my personal opinion, is that Miss Teresa's from that area. She knows the people. She knows the reputation of Rosemont. And she saw, Miss Teresa's very sharp. She saw what this police department was doing in the paperwork, which was gearing it toward hotel liability. She maybe thought that it would be too hard to try to convince someone to investigate this case um, correctly. So we've got it wrote up this way. If this is the way we have to get justice is through hotel liability, then that's what we're going to do. We're going to make them pay out of their pocket for justice. And I don't blame her one bit. I don't blame her one bit for that. But um, I don't. I don't know any way to come back from that by by getting the hotel to admit fault. How you would ever be able to open um, a case back up and try to prosecute someone criminally when the hotel is saying that they're liable. I'm just saying. No, the hotel has not paid Big Snacks. They are currently in litigation. They have a date. I told it last time. I think it's like 2024 set. And what they're doing is um, trying to give them time to work this case out because they don't want to take its trial. And you think about that, it would be really hard to pull a jury from anywhere in that area of Chicago because most people have heard about the Kenneka Jenkins case and most people have an opinion about it. That's just being real. It would be really hard to pull a jury from there. They would have to use a jury pool from elsewhere, in my opinion, because it would be hard to not have someone that had a previous, 2024. I just think they're giving them, trying to give them enough time to try to work this shit out. Plus, you've got so many people involved in the lawsuit. You've got Crown Plaza, you've got Caddyshack, you've got the security company, you've got all these people that have to communicate back and forth, and everyone's trying to say, it's not my fault, it's not my fault, it's not my fault. And I think that what's going to happen in the end, this is my personal opinion, I think that they're trying to assess what portion of liability each person is going to take. Like, say, the security company may have to absorb 20% of the settlement because they're 20% at fault. It's not going to come solely from Crown Plaza. I can guarantee that. So I don't think that the Caddyshack is going to be responsible for much of anything. But that's just my opinion because they really weren't there yet. No, let me back up. I don't think that the Caddyshack will pay as much as the hotel because the hotel was the one responsible for the Caddyshack restaurant and the construction. They were supposed to be overseeing it, as that's the best way I can understand it. But then you also have the security people who are supposed to keep the hotel secure. That didn't happen. So it's going to be, I think that what's going to take so long is to assess the percent of liability for each of these people. Thank you, Mika versus Roman. I appreciate that. Right. It would be very hard to pull a jury from there. Very hard. And I don't know that the Crown Plaza would want to take that to a jury trial because what they're going to see, just like us and just like these newbies, is a 19-year-old showed up at a party there and she didn't leave. And that's a huge liability on the hotel's part. It's a problem. It's a real big problem. Now, if I was the Crown Plaza and if I was the attorney for the Crown Plaza, I would probably want to I would want to check out what was going on at that party. I would want to try to get it off of my client. It's going to be hard to do. They would be the ones that would have to force a criminal investigation. You see what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't want to pay. And They could always come up and say, "Look, we didn't have shit to do with this. This was this is what we saw on, whatever, blah blah blah. This is what happened, blah blah blah." They could always do that, but that's a big if. The argument for how the hotel is liable is going to be because it was a construction zone that wasn't secured properly. Um, that's going to be the biggest part of it, unfortunately. She was able to walk right through there and walk right into their freezer, if that's the part you believe. But really, for me too, in the beginning, I found it very strange that everybody is saying that the footage that she walked into the freezer, the footage that she walked into the freezer, blah, 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 blah. And we never see that. And it's like, am I seeing what everybody else is seeing? Or are these media people, the news stations, the local news stations that picked it up, WGN, all that, are they just assuming she walked into that freezer because we see her around that corner? It's shocking. Even if you listen to the videos today, they still say that. In the beginning, they were like, "Oh, we don't have footage of her." Da 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 da. Um, it's strange. Yeah, the construction area should have been secured. Lenny is the food and beverage manager. I want to clear that up. And Lenny doesn't wear glasses. I have yet to see him in a pair of glasses. Unless they're readers, I've never seen him in a pair of glasses. Even on the footage, he's not in glasses. He's in a blue polo and a cap, ball cap. Yeah, it would come into play. And if I was the Crown Plaza, I would want that Kenneka's lifestyle to come into play. Because their job is to um, their attorney's job would be to either try to get it off of them in some kind of way, any kind of way, because this is a big lawsuit. This is really a big lawsuit. Yeah, I do know who King Rob is. I know who Rob is. He's not my king. The one who found her, we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows who that man was that walked into the freezer area to find Kenneka. That is not Lenny Posias. That's just facts. And like I said before, Lenny did. Am I Cassie's friend? Yeah. Why would you ask me that? I'm not getting into that bullshit. I'm just not. I'm be all the way honest with you. I'm not getting into the chat shit. I'm not. Am I Cassie's friend? Absolutely. And I don't give a damn who don't like it. I'll be all the way 100 with you. That's not Lenny. That's not Lenny. Lenny was block all of us, and I will make any YouTube profile and do the same shit. I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to do my live. I'm, for real, for real. I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. Am I Cassie's friend? Absolutely. I don't even know why it's come into question. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I'm trying to talk. I'm just being all the way 100. Um, Now, I don't know about that, Bonnie, but I know that when Rosemont did talk to him, they spoke to him in the parking lot. Like, I want to bring that interview back that they did with him, and then maybe people will understand why I'm so Um, yes, yes, he was Mama J. Yeah, I don't understand what all this bullshit is about, and don't care. Like, I'm not getting in it. I don't. I just everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm not gonna get in it. Like, I don't have a problem with Cassie. Never have. Well, I take that back. I did in the very beginning. We worked all that out. I don't have a problem with her. Um, but yes, that is not Lenny, and I want people to understand that. But I think on my next live, I'll just bring this interview back so that maybe people can understand why I think he's so damn suspicious. Um, what do you mean I will care? What is going on? Like, I honestly, like, yeah, we're gonna have to have a chat because this is starting to get on my nerves. Real talk, real talk. It's irritating to me. Trying to do a live. I'm gonna make sure when she go live, we talk about your friendship with her. I haven't done shit to you. Like, I don't even know why you're pissed off at me for real, for real. I don't. Do you not understand that I'm trying to do a live? Real talk. I don't know. I'm not watching that. All right. So, anyways, yeah, we're gonna have to get that together. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Where is the problem? Let's work the problem out. What started all this bullshit? Right, Linda Jackson. Like, it's worrisome. And what makes me aggravated is that for some reason, it shows up that I am the one blocking. Man, I ain't got my hands on nothing. I have my hands on nothing. I don't have the capacity to do it. It's just it's too much. It's not too. It's. I don't know, baby. I don't know, Ava. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know who all's in the bushes. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't have a problem with anybody. So don't make it about me. It's not about me. If you have a problem specifically with someone, work it out. That's the problem today. Nobody wants to work shit out. Regardless, I'll come back and I'll show you this interview because that interview always stuck with me because I'm like, well, damn, they talked to him for such a short amount of time and he really didn't know anything. And I know that, Lenny is the food and beverage manager. He's not the assistant. So probably, this is my guess, that Lenny probably sends this guy to do a lot of stuff because Lenny's probably done his time in the hospitality business. If you know what I'm saying, like he's done his time. He actually says that in one of his biographies. I think I posted on the channel about how far he had come and where he had started from and who all he had followed to get where he is today. And I figure that guy, whoever this guy is, probably does a lot of work at that hotel. And I'm like thinking, well, if you don't know the answers to those questions, very basic questions, it's odd to me. It's just odd. It stuck out as odd to me. It may not be to anyone else, but to me it is. And it struck a nerve with me. And that's why I want to know who the hell this guy is. And does this guy have a criminal background? Who is he? I want to know. And so that's one of the reasons why I want that dang file. Will I ever get it? I don't know. And nobody else knows either. That's the thing. Nobody else knows. So um, that's one thing I would like is the name. I just want the name. Period. I can do the rest on my own. But regardless, I wanted to come on and talk about that. And then, um, like that case today that I talked about where the teenagers stole the jewelry from the dead guy, it bothered me. It bothered me because, I mean, it may not sound like much to you guys, but I'm thinking, this guy had died and these kids done stole his jewelry. He felt bad enough that he killed himself. And now, like, dang. All right, we're going to go over this real quick. Real quick. Real quick, like. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. If it doesn't agree with your opinion, please don't mute anybody. I'm asking very nicely. Please don't do that. Um, Everybody has a differing opinion, and especially in this case, like that's what's real, and that's what makes this case what it is. And yes, please be respectful. Like for real, you see me talking like my time is just as valuable as anybody else's. I'm just being all the way 100 with you, and I don't start beef with anybody. Um, just don't mute anybody for their opinion. That bothers me. I don't like that. So mods, please don't do that. If someone is being disrespectful, that's a different story. But if you are just expressing your opinion, you should not be muted on this channel. The other day, there was an incident where someone was muted, and it it upset me because I never wanted her to be muted. Never. She's never caused any trouble over here. Not none. And so that bothered me. Now, if you're over here talking shit and raising hell, it's a problem, and you know it's a problem. But people that are just expressing their opinion, no, don't mute them. Do not do that. I do not like that. I want everybody to be able to say what they want to say, but say it respectfully. So now that that's out of the way, if you have muted someone that was just expressing their opinion, please don't do that. Please unmute them. Do whatever it is you did to get them there, because that bothers me. Now, thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate that. I think I think that that part's clear. Anyways, like I just get along with everybody, and I'm not about that. Like I genuinely, I set my time aside to do a live because I just think it's that important. And like you just can't get mad at somebody for expressing their opinion. Come on, guys, we can do better. Hey, Boss Blake, I'm glad you're here. It's my buddy. But I'm still looking for that. I get along with you, Shamika B. I ain't never had no problems with you. None. Not never. Um, so regardless, that case bothered me today. But then I knew I was going to be speaking about Kenneka Jenkins tonight, and I'm like, so many of these other cases that I cover make me think back about the Kenneka Jenkins case. And I'm like, it just shows me the capabilities of these teenagers and where their mindset is. And you think about teenagers in Chicago and where their mindset is, they're in the middle of a damn war zone. Like, real talk. It's a scary place. Um, they're having shootings every other day. Thank you, Ava, for even being on the daggone platform today. Thank you. Thanks, Shamika B. It's all good. It's all good. I don't hold grudges or nothing like that. Yeah, life is too short for it. Yeah, come on, guys. I'm just starting out with this live stuff. Um, I hope that at some point somebody runs across this and can tell me what this man's name is that found Kenneka. Like, I'm begging, literally, on live. Thank you, Ava. We need more of you. Lots more of you. Um, oh, it's a scary place. It is a scary place. Thank you, Linda Jackson. Thank you. You sent me something. I can't even remember what it is now. I'm working on it though. I got like three things I'm working on at the same time. My grandmother used to always tell me I had too many irons in the fire, and it's just how I roll. And that's about the facts that we have. That literally, that's the facts we have. Kanika went to a party and she didn't leave. Real talk. There was some kind of a kickback. Past that, what facts we got? It's crazy. It's crazy. But I don't want people to stop. I don't want people to get discouraged with this case because of all the foolery. We got to focus on, yeah, real talk, Bonnie, real talk. We don't want to lose focus in this case. Don't let a few bad seeds ruin it for everybody. Just because we have certain channels that are putting out foolery, don't let it affect how you feel about the case. Don't say, "Oh my goodness," because there are other people that are really trying on the case and really working on the case, and um, don't let a few bad apples spoil the bunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really do want to know what happened to Kenneka. They want to know a lot of things, and they have a genuine interest in it. And I'm one of those people. I have a genuine interest in it, and I have, my opinions, but I don't shove those down anybody's throat, and I'm not going to do it. That's called bopping. Pixel me. Bopping. That's bopping. Oh, thank you so much, Ava. You're so kind. Please send me an email, though, about what you were speaking about. Please. Please, please. Oh, you're so kind, Ava. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where is Sweet Pea? She's in here. Hey, Sweet Pea. I don't want to waste any more time because nobody wants to go back and watch a long ass live. It just, when they see that, they're like, move it on. So I don't want to do that. But I do want people to hear what I'm saying. Hey, Beverly Palmer. It's Bop. Right? Why did they? And that's another part of the hotel liability. They knew what was going on in that room. They knew. Till they came up there. They knew. So why didn't they shut it down? That's something they're going to have to answer to in court, unfortunately. I really, really appreciate everybody coming tonight. I needed this live. It's not been a fantastic day for me, so I appreciate it. Oh my goodness, Ava. Nuh-uh. Mm-mm. D-Wash, don't let me forget to check that email. Or you can check it, whatever. Ah, it's terrible. Terrible, Ava. Terrible. No. Oh no. Was that comment about Kenneka that Kenneka was alive on the gurney? Thank you, sweet pea. I appreciate it. Thank you, Linda Jackson. Thank you, the crafting nook too. Thank you for being here. Um, oh my goodness, Ava, it gets worse. It gets worse. How can it get worse? That's terrible. Definitely send me that. Yeah. Mm, that's terrible. Terrible. Look, I'm not going to continue. I appreciate you guys, and I know everybody took time out of their schedule to come tonight, and I appreciate your time. I've said this a million times. I learned a hard lesson about how valuable time was at age 38. It took me that long to get it. I got it. I got the lesson. Best lessons a bought lesson, and I got it. So I appreciate each and every one of you for being here tonight. Absolutely. All this is going to get better. I'm just moving slowly. I'm trying to do things as I can, and I'm about to have me a little background, so we ain't got to look at my room. We're going to do things right. So hang in there, guys, with me. I'm doing everything I can to try to improve and put better content out, and whew, it's a lot, but I really believe in myself, and I believe that um, this is something that I'm all about. I love to do what I'm doing with this channel, and I believe in myself for the first time, maybe ever, and I want to do it. So I'm dedicated to this channel and everything that goes on in this channel, and I take it very seriously. Like, it's no bullshit to me, it's real. And that's why I appreciate each and every one of you for your support and your encouragement and all of that. And it goes a long way with me. And I'm trying to come up with some new things. And no, you're not dampening anybody's evening. Not over here. No, we're grown over here. That's something that we need to look into. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Even the people that are behind the scenes, like Marie 722, man, she's on time with the story. She is on time with them. And I appreciate her so much. Like, I can't even tell her in words how much I appreciate her. I really, really do. D Wash, I'm telling you, when I see D Wash, I'm probably gonna knock her to the ground, hugging on her. Like, I love D Wash. I feel like we are related. Much love to you, Ava, too. I've just really had a positive experience with YouTube, and I've met a lot of cool people and talked to a lot of cool people. And thank you, Drea Mitchell. I appreciate that. So this has been a positive thing for me, and it's only going to get better. And I hope everybody rides it out with me. I hope you do. It's going to get better. But I thank everybody for their time, and I'm going to end the live on that note. And I will see you guys soon. Have a great night, guys. Sleep well.